Well. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Green Matrix. This is episode 24, and it's brought to you by wpdkin10 Radio. wpdkin10 Radio. I'm your host, David Wright, aka Bitch Down. We're broadcasting to you this wonderful day here in Atlanta. And start off, so I can't really stress enough how important it is to pay attention to your surroundings and the environment in which you're in, because here's the problem. The problem is we always see this ever-growing or this ever-number of poverty around the quote-unquote minority peoples, which you have to understand that the term minority doesn't equate or relate to a certain race of people, because one thing, we are all one race, which is the human race, and then you have other species of humans or subspecies of humans within the human race, and you can break it down however you want. And there's some beings out there who are not human as well, reptilians, soulless people, reptilians in human skins, all this stuff, right? This stuff is really true and it does exist, whether you like to believe it or not. So, but in the realm of words that are used, you have to understand how the words are used. When they say minority, they're not talking about certain races of people. Pretty much they're talking about groups of people, but they try to label it as whole races of people. So they try to tell you that the black people are the minority in this country, and you have to get that out of your damn head. That is not true, okay? There's way more black people, quote-unquote black people, melanated people, who are in the country of, or the corporation, who are in the, let's just say, it's not even a country. Let's say the country of North America. Because when you talk about the United States of America, that is a corporation. So you can't even relate that to actually being a landmass. So it would have to be the continent of North America. In the continent of North America, melanated people, quote unquote black people, or highly melanated people outnumber the non-melanateds or the lightly melanated people or the light people or quote unquote white people. That is the truth. That is a fact. There's no way that these people came over here and outpopulated the people, the indigenous people that were already over here. There's no way. There's millions upon millions. Even though they killed millions, we still reproduce faster, greater, and consistently more than the non-melanateds. I say that all the time. I'm pretty sure there's some kind of numbers that they have that show the average number that the quote-unquote black female has, or like they try to say minority has, versus the white person. So even if you look at their numbers, you can see that this time. Anyway, so when you're talking about minorities, they're really just talking about small groups of pocket of people, because you got a certain type of quote-unquote white person, which they will call a redneck or an outsider or a racist. You just have to look at how they use these words, because they're all confused and combobulated. However, it just refers to certain groups of people, because you have minority whites, minority blacks, minority Hispanics, minority Asians. But when you go to certain areas, these people, these groups of, as they separate these people, could be majorities, right? So, But, and we're going to come back to what we were talking about before, but just to reiterate or to better talk about what I mean by majorities and minorities. This is, say you go to a certain part of Decatur here in Georgia, and you have a school, and most of the students in the school are quote-unquote black. And then you go to another part of Decatur where the majority of these students in the school are white, quote-unquote white. Or if you go to a certain part of the city in Norcross, Georgia, you will find that majority of the students are Hispanic. Now they would be the majority, and everybody else would be the minority in that situation. So you have to understand how they use these words, when and how they use it. So it all depends on the area. But if you take the whole landmass of North America, majority dark-skinned people or melanated people. Now, so bring us back to the point. So we have to understand that the majority, or the majority, like that's what I mean. The majority of the quote-unquote black people have not been taught how to manage money or how to manage their finances. And when we talk about finances, we are talking about the whole shebang, like your net worth. Your net worth includes everything. It includes property, it includes resources, credit score, income, assets, right? So that would be that is your net worth. And we have been really, let's say we, because I'm a part of that majority that has not been taught. Now there's a minority that has been taught how to manage their finances, and which is great, you know. And maybe the minority has tried to teach the majority, and the majority doesn't listen. And that's pretty much what the case is, because most quote-unquote black people be like, I don't care about my credit, you know what I mean? I'm living from paycheck to paycheck, and you know, I don't have time for that. I gotta go smoke my weed, I gotta go drink, I gotta go turn up, I gotta get my, you know, my groove on, you know what I mean? I don't have time for all that stuff. I got baby mamas and baby daddies, and I gotta watch this show, reality show, all these things I gotta do, but pay attention to that. Because look, black people have the power to buy. We have the buying power. We have the buying power. We have such buying power. However, the financial mindset is not in the right drive. It's not in the right direction. And a lot of people talk about, hey, we need to go back. We need to go and take. We need to take what we want. We need to take what we need, and we do need to take it, and not in a violent manner, but in a smart way. And pretty much the smartest way to do it is financially. Because when you have financial prosperity, or you have financial ingenuity, financial propaganda, you pretty much have power. And you can realize your power and really obtain power with the financial aspect. Because really, that's all these quote-unquote white people or these political power people care about is money. This is how they separate us as well. They said they integrated everybody, which they really didn't. There's no real integration. It was only just to say the word that they integrated, like they used the word minority and majority. So the integration really didn't happen. The only thing they did was take the signs off that said whites only and blacks only. They just took the damn signs off and said, oh, you can sit wherever you want on the bus. You know what I mean? But this is what they did to ensure that there was still segregation, still separation. They did it financially. So basically what they do They build new houses in the area, and these houses are $400,000, $500,000 houses. Still the same quality build as a $150,000 to $200,000 house. Still the same materials. They just raise the price of it, and when they raise the price, that creates segregation because they understand that most of the melanated people don't know how to get their finances together, so they couldn't afford that anyway. That's pretty much what it is. If we look in our communities, we got the liquor stores, the gas stations, the nail shops, all these things that are owned by other people that don't look like us. And that's only because these people understand financial power, financial prosperity. They understand that. They took very specific notes, and they were not brainwashed by the powers to be. Now, I mean, if you want to call that a blame, you know what I mean? I guess you can say that. I mean, because these people, they don't have that push on them as much as we do because we live right here in it. While the others, they're outside of it. But, a lot of their people are getting it too from the outside source because the germ, the disease of Americanism, of American culture, has been spreading rapidly and feverishly, and it has not stopped, and it's a very vicious cycle. Maybe some people realize that maybe being in the source of it will grant them better opportunities because they understood what it was about. But the people that are here, living in it, we're the ones that don't see it. It's kind of like we're living in an ant farm, and we don't know we're living in an ant farm. So we don't know what's going on outside of us. Only thing we're focused on is what's inside everything that we can see. But everything we can't see, we're not focused on, like, or even being in a fish bowl or a fish tank, because the fish in the fish bowl, they just know that the food will come, and all they have to do is swim around and just do what they do, and the food will come. They don't have to do anything for the food. They don't have to work for it. You know what I mean? They just swim around and live off what they're given. While others on the outside are controlling the food, controlling the cleaning of the tank and the quality of the water that you're breathing and all these things. So that's pretty much kind of how it is for our people. We're just swimming around, living off what we're given and not knowing what's going on the outside. See, but we have to think outside the ant farm. We have to think outside the fish tank. But, how do you do that? You know what I mean? How do you do that? How do you get to that point? You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe you pay attention. Maybe you pray enough to your Jesus. I don't know. I don't know if Jesus can help you. I think the only thing that can help us is our own intuition and the ability to tap into the universe, because the universe will show you things that are on the outside and show you what's going on the inside. Give you a different perspective of what you're looking at. Like I said, but most of us don't understand that. And, I'm coming to find this out, that being financially free or financially concerned about your finances helps you to understand a lot of other things that are going on around you. Credit is a motherfucker, and you have to play that game. But when you know how to play the game, it makes it a lot easier. There's certain things that you can do to fix your credit very fast. Just a couple of things you can do to fix your credit very fast. But you have to stay on top of it, because these people know that most people don't know the game. Most people don't care about their credit or even know how to do it. But those who do, they continue to fight for financial freedom through their credit. And once you do that, you know what I mean? You just keep keep knocking on that door, keep knocking on that door, keep banging on that wall. And eventually, they have to listen to you. Eventually, they have to listen to you and pay attention to your complaints. And then follow through because of the laws that they put in place, which most people don't know about. And we'll get into that maybe another time to explain exactly what to do. I mean, there are some pointers that I can give you. However, I think this is something that people who are interested in this should be able to go and get more information about it in an environment where others like them are concerned about it, so the ideas can flow a lot easier. Like-minded people do better things, and those who are into it can really benefit from it. Because I can tell you this and tell you that, but I think it's up to those who are really interested in it to seek out the knowledge. So guys, remember, credit, man. Credit. Having credit is like having good credit is like it's like feeling like $1 million. It's really awesome because it's like you have money. You've got money. That's what it is. You've got money. You've got money when you got good credit. Good credit equals money, and it also equals some form of respect, some form of idea. Excuse me, I was drinking water. It gives people a good feeling about you, especially all these other people. Because people love money. Money is their new God. You can say credit is like Jesus Christ. Credit is like the new Jesus Christ, because credit represents God. Credit represents money. You can have cash, it's fine, cash. But who has cash like that? Us as working class people, we don't have cash like that. You know what I mean? Cash is for the people who are like, the movie stars and all these people making all these damn millions of dollars. Not the normal people. And it just makes sense for us to get our credit together. Now, like I said, I have to really emphasize this as well, that the system that is here for us, it is actually designed for us to do good. It's actually designed for us to succeed. However, there's a downside to it as well. You just have to understand how the whole system does work. And this is the way that it was explained to me. So let's just say they do 10 things, right? 8 of those 10 things are good things, but the other 2 are bad things. And for some reason, the bad things always seem to outweigh the good things. That's the way it seems to always work. You can have a person that's like good all their life, right? Okay, say a person lives average 65, 70 years. Okay, so for the first 30, 35 years, they do great. They're doing everything good. Then they do one bad thing, and their whole life is fucked up. And that's the way that we look at it. You got this one person who does good, and then he does one bad thing, or she does one bad thing, and then, oh my gosh, they're the scum of the earth. And that's the way that people look at it. That's the way that we've been taught to look at it. Like, bad things always seem to outweigh the good things that people do. Like, you can have, a person who's helping the homeless, or doing all the good things. You know what I mean? And then they get into a car accident, or maybe some way they accidentally hit somebody in their car. You know what I mean? Then that's just the end of the world. They look at the same thing like that. People make mistakes. You know what I mean? Person's been in a relationship, for 10 years, 10, 15 years, and then they make a mistake and they fuck up, then that's just over. But that's the way that it works. So, you have to look at the system as the same way. That's the same way it works. The credit system is a good system. It works if you understand the system, and you can benefit greatly from it. Like I said, I'm finding out about this. There's a lot of things that you can do, to improve your credit or fix your credit if it's fucked up. Because most of the time, we're not thinking about these things. Like here's a prime example, right? For one thing, us as quote unquote black people, we always have problems getting transportation. You know what I mean? Maybe the bus system was created for the black people. I don't know, just busting it around, stuff like that, trying to get from point A to point B, right? So, but the problem is, we don't have any money to buy these cars. And usually it comes tax season, that's when everybody buys their cars, because we got all these kids and we get all this tax money. So we take the tax money, go put a down payment on the car, buy it, drive it, we're done. But the problem is with that, we are not paying attention. Most people aren't paying attention to interest rates that you have to pay on the car. Most people aren't paying attention to car payments, the length of the loan, the value of the car. Most people don't pay attention. They're just like, oh, I got into a car, great. My car payment's, $400. Oh, I can afford that. But see, we're not negotiating with these people. We're not negotiating with these motherfuckers. We're not negotiating with them. We need to be negotiating with them to get the best price that we can, because there's no reason why they should be able to make so much money off of us. That's one thing they love about it, keeping us uneducated, because they make so much money off of us because they're overcharging us for everything. You go buy a car for $10,000. Guarantee you the dealer didn't pay $10,000 for that car. They may pay $6,000 for it. And then they're going to overcharge you. They're going to say it's $10,000. Then they're going to add on another $3,000 and put your interest rate at 25%. And they're going to, squash it out for 2 years or something like that, right? 24 months, 30 months, whatever the deal is. So you'll end up paying, double the amount for that car if you're making the payments because of the interest rate. You know what I mean? And that's because, one thing, our credit is bad. And two, we're not paying attention to it. So, you really have to negotiate or really know what you're getting into before you get into it. Now, if you can get into a car that's fine, you're going to pay it off early, then you do that. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to get the car and then make all these payments and then have it repoed. Then what you're looking at? You're going to have repossession on your credit history, and your credit's bad, and then it's going to be harder for you to get another car the next time. Same thing with, houses, same thing with appliances, going to all these rent-a-center places, stuff like that. All that shit goes on your credit. So you really have to pay attention to that. Like I said, you need to find the car that you want and not let them put you in a car that you don't want. Because people, like I said, we're like those fish in the bowl. We're just taking whatever they give us. Whatever they feed us, that's what we're taking. We're not trying to get the best food. And we should be getting the best of the best because of everything that we went through, everything that we've done to even create this system. So the system is designed for you. You just have to understand it, understand and overstand, and don't take the crap. We deserve the best of the best. If you want to go get a new Lexus, go get a fucking new Lexus, but guarantee you get the best interest rate. Be guaranteed that you get the best price for that car. Don't take what they give you, because you can always talk them down because they're trying to sell the cars. Because if they don't sell the car, they don't make any money. Even if they have to break even or even go below their price, they're still going to make money. Because you got to guarantee or know they're making money off of it anyway. Because, what do? This is one thing that a lot of people don't know. When they get a loan, give you a loan for the car or whatever you purchase, they turn around and they sell that loan. They sell it to another company. Because you ever notice these companies do not last long. All these places that you're paying this money to, they don't last long. So they turn around and they sell the loan. So they basically make money off you on a crazy interest rate, and then they turn around and sell the loan to another company, and they're making money. And then they continue the process. And all these companies are pretty much the same company, and they're run by the same bigger company. You know what I mean? They're just pretty much playing us. So you have to be really careful about your choices and don't let them dick you around. Now, when you don't have good credit, you kind of don't have a choice. You're going to have to pay a high interest rate. You know what I mean? So the best thing to do is to save your money and buy a car or fix your fucking credit. You can guarantee you can fix your credit less than 6 months. If you follow a few simple steps, you can fix your credit in less than 6 months. And then 6 months time, or even less than 6 months time, maybe 4 months, you'll have enough credit to buy a car and get a decent interest rate. I mean, 22 is still too fucking high. 18 is still too fucking high. But 18 is better than 25. You maybe get it down to 9 or 6. The lowest interest rate is like 3.5. Some banks would do that. Some banks do 6.5. But, you know, it depends on the car that you're going to buy, because they have certain stipulations and rules that they have, these banks and whatever they follow, because, you know, they're trying to make money too, but they're trying to be fair as well. So, but, you know, you have to pay attention to that, you know what I mean? Just don't spend your money. I mean, because you can have a car payment of fucking $250 for, you know, 2015, if your credit is good. And then you just make an extra $150 payment on it, and your interest rate goes down. And instead of 48 months, you know what I mean, you pay the car off in 24 months, whatever. And it makes you look better because you made a smart decision. You know what I mean? They like to see that. So we have to be smarter about these choices that we make. You know, when you're buying a house, stuff like that, you know what I mean? And most of us aren't looking to buy a house because we don't think we can afford a house. I'm telling you, you can afford a house. If you make a decent amount of money and your credit's good and decent, you can afford a house. I can tell you right now, I made $21,000 last year. And then my wife made $13,000 last year. So let's say I made 22, she made 14, right? Just to go over. So together we made, what's 22 and 14? 36. So together we made $36,000 last year. That is not a lot of money. And a lot of people, that's not a lot of fucking money, right? Barely scraping by. I mean, I used to make that by myself when I worked as a pharmacy technician, getting paid, you know, what I was getting paid. But just with that, and the little work that we did to our credit, we are able to afford a house for $145,000. Now that is an estimate. It could be more, it could be a little bit less, but around $145,000. Now, $145,000 house is a good house. You can get a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom house with a 2-car garage, anywhere from, let's say, 15 to 2,200 square feet, just depending on, you know, the condition of the house and where it's at and stuff like that. That's awesome. That's a great thing. Now, how much would you be paying a month? You pay anywhere, you know, what they're charging for these apartments now, $925 up to $1,100 a month. And you can afford that if you budget your money properly. We got 2 cars that we drive, and we don't live too close to our job, so we're putting gas in the tank $40 every fucking week. So, you know, but what I did, I budgeted out what we were making and what we were spending and our bills, and I came up with a budget about how much I want to spend every month, every time I get paid or every month. And I stick to the budget. And it works. And, you know, for the first time, you know, in a long time, I'm actually saving money. And it's just like, maybe I got more mature, I don't know, but you gotta have a mindset for these things, right? It's good just to have money sitting there. You don't have to spend it on everything. You don't have to spend your money on every little thing that you want, every little thing that you think you need. You don't have to do that. You know, if you just buy things that you need and occasionally buy things that you want, and it's something that you want, you don't have the money, save up and buy it. Even though you got that credit card, for $5,000, and you got that, you know, $1,000 credit card, don't spend it. Don't spend it unless you got the money to buy it. I mean, that's smart. That's thinking. That's using the system to benefit you and your family. Because you leave that $1,000 in there for 6 months, they're gonna offer you for you to go up to $2,000, maybe even $2,500. I And that's more money that you have to use at your disposal, and it boosts your credit score because they say, oh, you got this and you haven't gone over your 10% on the money that we lended you. And they like to see that. And that helps your credit score. But when you got good credit, you can just go in there and be like, look, I know I can afford this. So, you know what I mean? And they see it and they're just like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. And they have a totally different attitude towards you. Because you never know who's checking your credit score. Some job check your credit score, whatever, da, 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 da. You know what I mean? But now, you got the option to lock your credit so nobody can run it without your permission. So there's a lot of things that are benefiting us and therefore us to benefit us. I mean, you can start your children out with good credit. You know what I mean? You can start your children out with good credit. You go get an account in their name somewhere. You know what I mean? Your children start out with good credit. I mean, it's very important, and I just can't stress how much important the credit is. It just makes things a lot better, and I just look at things differently. You know what I mean? I'm looking at my bank account, and I fucking got money in there. I'm just like, damn, I got money in my fucking account, and my bills are paid, but I'm not buying all kind of shit. You know what I mean? I only buy the things that I need. I'm just like, it's steady building up. It's steady building up. My dad says, which is a good practice, he says, take 10% of everything you make and you save it. 10% of everything you make and you save it. You take 10% of everything you make and you save it, boom. You know what I mean? You have money saved up easily. But you got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? But this is the mindset that we have to have in order to be successful, in order to be who we want to be. We always complain about we don't have this, and we don't own anything. That's because we're not doing what we need to do to own it. We're not doing what we need to do to own it. We're too busy, worked up on all these other things, partying and smoking and drinking and having a good time and living it up. Life is short, you're not going to live. That's a bunch of bullshit, you know what I mean? We have the ability to live forever. Never. Our bodies were designed to live forever. See, now we're getting into talking about things that are real. The Almighty Creator designed our bodies to live on this plane indefinitely. We just have to take care of it. They say your body is your temple, the body is the church. That's what it is. You have to take care of it. Because it's tough with all the pollutants and toxins and the baloney and the bullshit. They're beaming stuff down on us, putting shit in your food, putting shit in the TV and the radio, and you listen to all these things and they're fucking with you. Stuff in the cell phones, all this stuff is fucking with us. You know what I mean? But you have to be cognitive or cognizant or whatever the word is. You have to be aware of these things. Because if you make yourself aware, then you can fortify your body to protect against it. All right? You can do that. You look at the quote-unquote white people to see they fortify themselves against things like the sun because their lack of melanin in their body doesn't allow for the absorption of the radiation from the sun. So they've protected themselves. They've made adjustments. They fuck with the weather so you only get 70% of the sun, and then they put sunblock on to protect themselves from this shit. Sunglasses on to protect their eyes. See, they understand this. Understand and overstand. So that's what they do. They protect themselves from the things that can hurt them to preserve their bodies as best they can. They take medications and all this fucking shit, whatever they need to do. That's what they do. That's their shit. You know what I mean? So we need to have something, a way to protect ourselves against their stuff, and then start fucking getting on point. You know what I mean? We need to get our shit together and start owning stuff, and start taking over stuff. I mean, as an individual, you can get your shit together, get your business together, get your personal credit together, and you can go get a business loan for $50,000, $75,000, $120,000 to do your business. No problem. But you got to work at it. You got to be serious about it. And, stop bullshitting all the time. You know what I mean? Make yourself a plan. I got a fucking 3-year plan that my wife and I, we worked on, we talked about, because we know what we want to do. You know what I mean? So we have goals, set goals where we want to be, what we want to do. So we made a plan. It's a little 3-year plan, and excuse me. And now the plan is starting to come together. We just got some good news, which is one of the first things that we needed to do to start our plan. And that's what we're doing. And we made our plan, we're focused on it, and we're manifesting our reality because we have the ability to do that. We have the power to do that. So as we manifest our reality and we're focused on it, it will come to fruition, as they say. So we see the plan starting to work. It's doing what it's doing, and we're just going to follow through with it. And in 3 years, we'll be looking pretty. 3 years, we'll be able to buy that $500,000 house with a 3-car garage, 6 bathrooms, over 5,000 square feet. We'll be able to do that easy. But anyhow, I'll talk for a minute. So, but you guys take it easy. Proud of you. You're awesome. You're wonderful. You're one of a kind. You're working on it. Don't keep working on it. Don't give up your dreams. Yep. All right. I'm out. Anyway, so like I said, I broadcast Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, the regular wpdkin10 radio show. And on Saturdays is the Green Matrix. Yes indeed. So let me give you the website before I go. Okay, so let me give you a website before you go so you can... Okay, let's see. Okay, the website to go to for your Get Real Water, you can go to for the Get Real Water, you can go to www.drinkrealwater.com. That's www.drinkrealwater.com. You can also go to if you want to get signed up for the Get Real Water Concentrate, you can go to wpdkin10radio.getrealabundance.com. That's www.wpdkin10radio.getrealabundance.com. And then if you want to do your credit, check your credit, work on your credit, you can go to creditchecktotal.com. You can also do creditkarma.com as well. And of course, if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to contact me. I will leave my email address so you can contact me if you have any questions. The email address is djw790@yahoo.com, so you can address any of your questions there, and I will get back with you. But anyway, you guys take care. Have a good one. I'm out.